to, usually a lot of yelling and excitement. So it's gonna be really awkward, and I'm gonna probably touch my hair a lot. But anyway, I have a story time, kind of, and this is not because I want to put anybody on blast at all. It's not at all about that. It's not even like men suck or like a bad date or incident or anything like that. I'm getting kind of all jumbled up right now, but I'll get to the point. That's why I'm not going to say anyone's names. I'm not going to give too many real life factors, things like that. I'm just going to read some text messages and explain an evening that I had. I think that a lot of female or femme presenting musicians will sympathize with this a lot. And so this is nothing new. This kind of thing is like pretty mild and nothing new to really most people, almost all like women in music. But I have so many friends who are not women who are curious about the nuances of things that go on in terms of how women can be treated differently in the music industry. People ask me that a lot, people ask the band that a lot, and it's hard to kind of explain in broad terms. So many people do that really well. I am not one of them, but every once in a while things come up and you're just like, that's it. So this was my story. This happened kind of recently. I was interested in meeting somebody. It was going to be kind of a date, but very impromptu. I don't actually make plans. I rarely go on dates in general because I just like to meet people and have a fun night. Maybe learn, make new connections. Who knows? You never, who knows? Whatever. I don't have to explain myself. A friend of mine was there also. This person's profession is in nightlife. I don't, like I said, I don't want to give too much away about them. They might see it. And it was a nice night. It was super fun. I mean, like I got to hang out with my friend, while this person was kind of just like checking in for a while. And it was just supposed to be a chill night, but it was. And I'm going to basically fast forward through the rest of the night. It was just basically three people kind of hanging out, getting to know each other a little bit. I should throw it in there that I had like 3 glasses of wine, and this was after my no drink December. So yeah, it hit me a little bit faster and harder than it normally would. I wasn't hungover the next day, but I did get food poisoning from something suspicious that I know I ate that night, and also anyway, whatever. So, towards the end of the night, and it was a weekday, so I was not staying late. Like, I'm not actually a crazy partier, especially on weekdays. I care too much about the things I have to get done. Gotta make that money, gotta do that stuff. Anyway, so I'm leaving at like 10. And I don't know why he started to bring this up, but he starts talking about my band and how he's heard our music, and great, he likes it. That's awesome. It's a big part of my life. I don't mind if people bring that up. That's not what the issue was. The issue was he then immediately started questioning me on my singing techniques and basically saying like I'm not giving it my all and that he can tell. And okay, in all fairness, no, not in all fairness. Like people have told me things like that. But you know, if you're a musician, you get all sorts of mixed feedback. And over the years, I have learned to not tune it out, but learn what I am actually doing and what I am working towards, working with vocal coaches, practicing a ton, talking to my bandmates, talking to people I admire. So while like unsolicited feedback is generally not just don't. Why? Like I did not ask. I'm actually like pretty easygoing with that stuff, even from strangers. I mean, I immediately think you're kind of holier than thou. But like I'm not gonna hate you for it. And so I was a little weird about it. Like I was like just kind of like smiling, like okay, like I'm not gonna get into a thing here. Leaving any second anyway, and I think that made him a little bit like insecure, kind of realizing maybe he was stepping over a boundary or something. Like we had just met and you're giving me tips on my passion and like my art. Fine. And so I go home, I'm relaxing, and the texting comes. And like, that's fine. But I'm just going to read you some of them. And then I'll get to my point at the end. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of them. I'm going to kind of skip around because some of it will give away details. I just don't want to do that. But guys, I just had to edit something out. I realized I gave too much information. So we'll start with something he texted me. I'm not here to be a dick. I'll just tell you my opinion if you want to hear it. I didn't. If you don't, then lip sealed. You're clearly doing all right. Thanks. It goes on. Let's have just you and me while I break down the melodies of your songs and you hate me afterwards. And I go, am I going to hate you for it though? I'm trying to give him like an out. Like, I'm not like, yeah, critique my music, stranger. He goes, no, you won't. I only give my opinion and why I think it works and give examples. There is no shortage of talent in your songs, Aiden. Oh, this part's funny. He goes, now I'm old and there's no market for me. So is that instantly... That's bullshit. Like, what a cop-out. I'm not gonna tell you how old he is. He's not too old. Like, what? And also it's like, is my timer ticking in this industry? No. Not because of age. Maybe if I die or fall off a stage or something, break my voice. You can do it, he says. I can do what? I say. I'm never telling you how, he says. What? He goes, I'm saying you hold back. You play it safe, and you're more talented than that. We just met for like 2.5 hours. He goes on. Do you think I'm wrong? You said others have said the same thing. I just want to hear a song where your beautiful voice reaches for a note and you feel it. Music so well. That's all I have to say about it. I know you could. You have such a gorgeous voice. Also, who the fuck am I to say anything to you? Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, how long did it take you to come to that conclusion? But no, instead you said all the things you had to say. I just want to keep it honest. That's all. Oh, this is my favorite part. He goes, you have a great voice. I want to hear you reach. You've got it. If you didn't, I'd keep my mouth shut and let you keep singing. Let me keep singing? He'd keep his mouth shut and let me keep singing? Why do people talk like this? I can't imagine a guy musician talking to another guy musician like this. Professionally, even even just meeting and also this is our first time meeting. This is some hardcore looking down on mansplaining in the music industry. This is the notable things that women in this scene know. Okay. So then he goes, but you do. You just don't. Look up. That was my last band. I was terrible, but I had to let it rip. I was a terrible singer. Y'all, I checked it out. It wasn't, I didn't listen for very long. I listened enough to be like, yeah, okay, I can disregard really any of the advice that this person would want to give me. No. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, there's more of this, and yeah, I'll put up some of the things that it ends with. I'll just, I don't know, like put it up right now or something. You can read it. I've never put one of these videos together. So. I think that's good. You could pause it if you need it. But essentially, these are examples of what women in the music industry and a lot of industries, I'm sure, go through. I'm only speaking from my own experience in this particular thing because it's been asked of me a lot. There are so many more blatant cases of things like that, or of how men think they dominate the industry and try and make it such. And no, that's not all men. It's not, but it's too many. It's just a mentality that needs to not just be done with, but it needs to really be beat into the fucking ground. And how do we do that? We support women, trans, non-binary musicians because it's some of the bravest stuff. It's new. It's something that has been kept farther away from you on purpose, harder to discover on purpose. It's not backed by millions of dollars in the industry on purpose. We can all be better, and I don't know, share your, if you have any stories, like that, I would love to know them, things like that. People must ask you if you're a woman in music, things like this all the time. If you're a guy in a band with a lot of women, you might get asked this. How is it different or whatnot? And I think a lot of people maybe don't want to talk about it a lot or make it the point of topic because it's talked about a lot. Like we talk about a lot in the community, but it's kind of so known and comfortable at this point, but also it's almost seems a little bit like not punk to just talk about it and share those stories because it's never overreacting. It's never, I mean, never say never, but like, it's not overreacting. It's a reality. It's proven. It's in stats. It's something that we are changing and you are changing. The community is changing every single day. So that's awesome. Good stuff to look forward to, but, don't mansplain to a singer, how to sing the first time you meet them. Rock on.